we go.
Everybody talks about Robinhood margin like it's a trap, but what if I told you it can actually supercharge your dividends? Here's how I use ULTY's weekly payout to snowball on margin, turning every dividend into more buying power. Think of it like a compounding paycheck machine that works for you every single week. And here's the crazy part. While most traders are stressing over interest, I'll show you how I'm using margin even without touching my own cash flow. This is the real math behind the dividend snowball, all using margin. Welcome back, dividend stackers. This is the ULTY YOLO channel, where we track every move of Yield Max's ULTY ETF, dividends, trades, and even margin. And a quick reminder, this is not financial advice. I'm just showing you what I am doing with my own money inside of ULTY. Now let me share the spreadsheet. Let's start with the fresh numbers. ULTY announced the latest dividends on Wednesday of 0.0926 cents per share. That's the official figure, and it was a little lighter than my projections of 0.094, but still real cash flowing back into our accounts. For me, with my current position, that's about $75 reinvested this week, and because I added another $1,000 last week, my break-even price is now sitting at $5.45, and my cost basis at $5.92. So check this snapshot. My market value is sitting at $4,689.60. My cash invested is sitting at $4,899.31. And that, as you can see there, it's money out of pocket plus dividends reinvested. My unrealized loss stands at a negative $210.15. And the dividends for September so far are $204. And with still one more week to go here in September on 9/26, this could easily be a $280 month. Here's the key insight. Those dividends aren't just offsetting losses, they're lowering my break-even price every single week. That's the engine behind true gain and unrealized loss. As you can see, we're sitting at a true gain now of a positive $178.55, which that in turn is a positive 3.96%. I have to say, I was starting to lose hope. It is nice to see that with the dividends and the price of ULTY increasing to $5.67, it continues to give me more confidence to keep going. It's nice to see some green. Before the trades and the margin story, I just gotta stop and say a huge thank you. We just crossed 500 subs and en route to 1,000. Every single comment, every like, and yes, even the buy me a coffee supports for those late night energy drinks. You are literally fueling this channel. I can't say it enough. I appreciate you. This channel is possible because of you guys. All right, let's dig into the margin and why this week's numbers tell such a crazy story. So here's where things get interesting. I started leaning into margin this week a little bit more than I had been, carefully, to see how it feels to manage. Now this may look a little different from what I showed you on Thursday, but it's where I want to be transparent and show you what I did. Robinhood currently charges me 5.50% interest on borrowed funds, slightly down from 5.75%. And again, that was thanks to Jerome the Homie Powell and the Fed's latest cut. Now, Robinhood margin gives you the first $1,000 interest free, and that of course is with Robinhood Gold. After that, it's 5.50%. And here's my experiment. I'm considering dropping my entire paycheck into this account, letting it ride in ULTY for dividends, and then floating my bills with margin. That's risky, I know, but remember what I say, scare money don't make money. And if it works, the idea is simple. Paycheck compounds inside ULTY, dividends stack faster, margin floats the expenses temporarily, the snowball keeps growing. It's aggressive, but the math says it might work. Now, why am I comfortable doing this inside of Robinhood? Because the platform gives me instant deposits for trading. If I sell, I can move the money to my spending account or my debit card almost instantly. I even had funds show up in under a minute.
Plus, I can do ACH transfers with my account and routing number. I have access to debit card for direct payments
and fast withdrawals, which are supposed to be within 30 minutes or less. That
does come with the, and because I want to
be transparent, I'm going to show you exactly what I did.
So now if I take you to my spending account, you're going to see here that I attempted to try the spending account and see if it was
possible to get my early direct deposit with Robinhood advertises.
I tried it with $150, but unfortunately I didn't get paid until Friday. My checking account through a credit union in Southern California actually releases my money on Tuesday, so that's more beneficial for me. However, I did not see that there was supposed to be a early direct deposit toggle button where I just clicked on September 21st. So with that in mind, I may try it again. However, I don't know if you can beat the Tuesday direct deposit that my checking account from that credit union gives. So again, the other thing I tried also, as you can see here, I try to make a transaction for OpenAI and see that if it would actually take the money out of the margin from the spending account. But as you can see there, it actually declined it. So I ended up having to transfer $20 into the account and then make the OpenAI transaction. So learn something there as well. So going back to the history, you can see obviously those transactions there. I'll take you back down here where you can see that the deposit came through on $150. I then deposited $1,000 from my debit card to Robinhood, which was made available right away, which is one of the benefits that I like. I can actually go and buy shares of ULTY right away because Robinhood makes it available, which in other brokers, I had the issue where I would have to wait 3 to 5 days. This is $1,000 that I ended up buying, the 180 shares that brought my break-even price to $5.45. And then the limit buys here for the dividend reinvestment that I made. I did get charged a cent of interest on September 11th. I think I went over the $1,000 here, but you can see a penny to pay for Robinhood margin interest is not that bad. I then withdrew the $150 that I had deposited from my payroll here. I withdrew $380 that happened on September 17th. If you remember on the Thursday video, I stated that I had pulled some margin to pay some bills. I ended up pulling up that amount. However, if I scroll back up here, you're going to see that I pulled another $500 that came out of my margin as well. But then I deposited $625 back into the account. And the reason why that was because I was going to pay some of my bills with that money. However, because I had it as an automatic payment, I didn't need that money. So I decided to put it back in. So all of that was able to be made in an instant, which I definitely like. And that's how it gets back to my margin of what I currently have. And you can see here, obviously, that the decline amount that I try to see if it would create like an overdraft into the margin, which it didn't do. So you do have to transfer money into the spending account in order to use that money. So lesson learned there. Luckily, it doesn't charge any fees for declining that amount, at least not yet. So that's where we stand now here. The total maintenance required on my part is $1,172.29. My buffer sits at around 47%, which is almost $1,800 that I can use right now. And then my portfolio value is $3,794.60. The margin I'm currently using is $894.56. And like I showed you guys on Thursday, I think me pulling out an additional almost $800, my buffer went down to about 35%. Still in a comfortable range. So if I were to have taken that money and bought more shares of ULTY, it would have been additional dividends that would have got paid. So therefore, I am considering this. I'm considering depositing my whole paycheck in there and pulling out the money for my expenses using margin, which I know now that I can do based on the trials that I did on my account this past week. And you can see there that because I did go over 1,000 over a period of time last week, it did charge me 8 cents of interest or daily interest. So I'll see how much that's going to be
But if that was right there, one day of daily interest, I'm basically gonna get charged 1 share of a dividend payment from ULTY, which is kind of cool to think about. It's just gonna depend how much I use. And again, I'm not against paying interest as long as the dividends outpace that charge. One of the strongest things we're gonna have to take care of here is gonna be this maintenance ratio, or take a look at, because as I stated before, I've seen this jump up and down. I think when I was reporting it on Thursday, it was sitting at 35%. I'll have to go back to check, but I think it was 30 or 35%, and now it's sitting at 25%. So that's a big deal here, because that can easily change this buffer. So I'll have to keep that in mind. 50% will probably drop it quite a bit there. And the last thing I want to do is get margin called, but I'll be able to manage that, and hopefully adding my whole paycheck in there will definitely help. So basically, the reason why I'm going to go with Robinhood and their margin is Robinhood gives me the freedom to actually use the money. The only thing that's really missing here that I use quite a bit is Zelle, but maybe they'll get there sometime. I'll have to figure out how I actually do that, because of course I can always transfer that money back to my account for a small fee and then sell it from my bank account to wherever I. And hey, if you're new and want to try it, Robinhood's referral program will give you free fractional shares when you sign up with my link. I'll go ahead and link that below. I'll also get some, so it's a win-win. It's just a nice way to transfer over if you don't already have Robinhood and are considering it. No pressure, but it'll be right there for you. Just so I don't leave you guys hanging, let me show you what that looks like. I am going to withdraw $20 from my individual account to my debit card, and you can see there that it says instant withdrawals. They do charge 1.75% fee, and the minimum is $1. So for this minimum, I'll be charged $1 for it. Obviously, depends how much you're going to make. The $20 will happen right now. So the instant transfer here will be $1, because so I'll receive $19 back. And just for transparency here, you're going to see that the total margin that I'm using is $894.56. And when I come back here and I transfer the $20, which will be $19, because they'll charge me $1 fee. And there we go. Now it's done. We come back over here. You'll see that now changed to $914.56. So that's how easy really it is to use that margin. Now it is in my bank account. I will not show you guys that part, but you can see now that I am able to use those $20 and go anywhere and spend those $20 there. I'll also show you here real quick how to withdraw to a spending account. Same thing here. I'm going to put $20. I'm going to review the transfer. For this, it does not charge you a fee. And that is done. You can see there that my margin used just went up. And coming over to my spending account, you can see now that 7 seconds ago, it transferred $20 and is now available, and I can use it with my card. Very easy to do. Transferring cash back in is the same thing. So let me show you guys that. I'm going to deposit $20 right back from my spending account to my individual account, viewing the transfer that amount. Now you can see there that is done. And now you can see there that the margin has now dropped again by $20. I'm going to repeat that step and deposit $20 from my Visa debit card to my individual account. It's ready to go. Now the transfer is completed. And as you can see, my margin is now back down to $894.56, which of course, if I was not using the margin, that would just be cash and I would be able to use. Now, unfortunately, I can't make any trades right now until Monday to show you guys that, but basically it's the same concept. Just want to make sure you guys saw that here. And again, this is why I like Robinhood, because it gives me the freedom to use the money margin as fast as possible. Now let's talk trades. ULTY's managers moved serious money this week. From 9/15 to 9/19, we saw inflows, outflows, and adjustments that show how they're generating the cash for dividends. And here's where I think it matters most. Those trades directly tie into next week's distribution, and we see the same positioning strength we could end September with the monster dividend week on 9/26. I'm going to go ahead and project, based on the consistent net premiums and recent weekly payout patterns, a 0.093 cent per share for 9/26. So what's next?
I'm going to keep testing this paycheck and margin float idea. I'll report back exactly how it plays out,
the wins, the risks, and the real numbers, because the whole experiment isn't theory, it's real life with my own money on the line. Drop a comment below. Would you ever YOLO your paycheck into ULTY, or is this way too risky? I want to hear your take. And as always, none of this is financial advice. It's just what I am doing with my money inside of ULTY. Thanks again for 500 subs. Let's keep climbing. ULT YOLO out.